In this video, I will show you how to install BlendOS on a USB drive. BlendOS is a very special Linux distribution, not just because it is immutable, but also because you can use many different package managers at the same time. If you need a Debian package, no problem, apt install. Or maybe you need a package from Fedora, then you can use DNF. Or maybe you need an Arch package, then you can use Pacman. Or maybe you need a package from the AUR? Sure. BlendOS is very unique in this regard, so let's install it on a USB drive and let's try it out. But before we start, welcome to the channel. Here you can find topics about Linux, Docker, game dev, or software development in general, or short, agile dev art. If you like that kind of content, then give a like, subscribe, and smash the bell icon to get notified when I release new videos. All the links from this video are down in the description, and also down there are the timestamps, so you can skip any part if you want. I'm here on the official BlendOS website, and it says that BlendOS is an immutable, atomic, and declarative Arch Linux system. So you can install applications from different Linux distributions, plus Android. Down here you have the supported ones, and how this actually works. It uses Podman containers. You can have multiple Linux distributions running inside different containers, and the containers are so well integrated with the host Arch system that running applications feels seamless. It's also very secure because the containers are sandboxing the applications. And then we have declarative, which means that we can define what should be pre-installed based on a config file. So you can easily replicate the system on multiple machines. This is perfect if you're running servers or maintaining servers. Atomic updates, here is the explanation. It is replacing your old root file system with a new one cleanly. So as I understand this, on every update you get a brand new root file system, which is very interesting. I hope they manage to make it work seamlessly in the background, because if the system is immutable, I really like this idea. And BlendOS is user-friendly because you cannot break your system so easily, but I would rather call it foolproof. Now, without further ado, let's see how to install this one on a USB drive. First, let's download the ISO. Go to download. BlendOS version 4 is in alpha, so we will go with version 3. Let's check it out. Let's find the ISO. Here you can choose between desktop environments. You have GNOME, KDE, Cinnamon, XFCE, LXQT, Mate, and Deepin. I will choose the first one, which is GNOME. Then choose a download link. I will go with this one. And wait for the download. It has 3.2 gigabytes. Download complete, and here is the Blend ISO. This ISO is not the full BlendOS system, it's just a live environment with the installer. So first we need to flash this one on a USB drive. Then we need to boot into it, into this live environment, run the installer, and install BlendOS on a second USB drive. Yes, again, we will need 2 USB drives. As always, the first USB drive with this live environment can be any off-the-shelf stick, it doesn't really matter. The second USB drive should have a decent read-write speed, otherwise the whole system will be very slow, you will get really frustrated, and it doesn't matter if you have the newest machine, if the USB drive with BlendOS is the bottleneck. So get a decent USB drive. I'm using one with 128 gigabytes, and you can find the referral link down in the description. Maybe you noticed, but inside my downloads directory, there is also an MX Linux ISO. MX Linux is ranked number 1 on DistroWatch, and in the previous video, I showed you how I can install it on a USB drive. So if you want to run the top ranking MX Linux on a USB drive yourself, then you can check out the link to the video up there or down in the description. Now let's flash BlendOS on a USB drive, and therefore I will use a tool called Rufus. This is Rufus, the official website. I use this tool in almost every Linux installation video, so scroll down, click on the download link, download complete, let's open it, and here it is. Now plug in the first USB drive for the live environment. I will do it as well. Rufus has recognized the drive. Now let's select the ISO. Here it is. Open, leave everything else on default, and select Start. ISO image mode is OK. Now it warns us that everything that is currently on the USB drive will be deleted. So if you have something important on there, make a backup first. I don't have anything important on there, so I will just continue. And now let's wait. Finished. Close. The USB drive with the BlendOS Live environment is ready, and now we need to boot into it. As always, I will assume that you know how to boot from a USB drive, but if you don't, you plug in the USB drive, you restart the system, and while the system is restarting, you press one of the function keys. Usually it's F11 or F12, it depends on your PC manufacturer. Then you should get the boot menu, and inside, select the USB drive and it should boot into it. I will do the same on my machine as well, and I'll see you in the live environment. Here we are inside the BlendOS Live environment, and this is not the full installation, just the live environment with the installer. It says welcome to BlendOS, and we also need to connect to the internet. So let's do this. It should be up here. Yes. Perfect, I'm connected. Now let's plug in the second USB drive for the full BlendOS installation. I will do it as well. Now let's go start. I will just go with the defaults, so keyboard layout is okay. Time zone also okay. I'm happy with the formats. Now add your user. And next. Here we need to select the drive where we want to install BlendOS. And if you don't see your drive here, then open gparted and make sure that you can see your drive here. In my case, this is the one. And also make sure that this one is not mounted. In my case, the drive is empty, so there is nothing to mount there. Once you have unmounted everything, you can close this one. And unfortunately, you will need to close the installer and then restart it. Just press the Windows key, type install, and here it is. Then fill out the form again, and you should see your drive here. In my case, it was already there, and this is the one, so select it, and next. Here you can see a summary what will be done. And now before we continue, everything that is currently on the selected USB drive will be deleted. So if you have something important on there, make a backup first. I don't have anything important on there, so I will just continue and click next. And now let's wait. Perfect, the installation was successful, so click next. Now we need to reboot and boot into BlendOS. So again, while the system is restarting, you will need to open the boot menu and select the newly installed USB drive. I will do the same on my machine as well, and I'll see you in BlendOS. And here it is, full BlendOS running from a USB drive. We also got this welcome screen, so let's get started. Now besides containers, you also get a software store where you can install Flatpak applications, because Flatpaks are the only thing that you can install, more or less. Let's go next. And of course you get containers. Let's try it out. This here is called BlendOS settings, and here you can add containers. Now to use this one, you need to connect to the internet. I'm already connected. Here you can find a list of different containers that you can add. I will add a Debian container, and I will call it Debian. Let's add it. Now it needs to initialize everything, and this can take some time. Finished, and here is the container. Now if you want, you can now start the shell inside of it. This is now running inside the container, and we can see that by this add Debian here. So since this is Debian, we can do sudo apt update and also sudo apt upgrade. Up to date, so this one works. Now let's open console. This is now running on the base system, and you can see this by add blend here. And since the base system is Arch, we should be able to do sudo pacman-syu. Let's try it out. This one doesn't work, because as said, BlendOS is using an immutable file system. So the only way how you can install applications is using containers or using Flatpaks. In this case, I already have a Debian container running. Now to use the container, I actually don't need this window. I can do it from the base system, so let's clear the terminal. Now let's say I want to install neofetch on the Debian container, then write sudo apt.debian install neofetch. So here, the apt.debian makes sure that apt is actually running inside the Debian container. Execute. Installed, and now to run neofetch, write neofetch.debian, and this one makes sure that neofetch is running from the Debian container. So let's try it out. It worked, and since neofetch was executed inside the Debian container, we also get the Debian logo here. So here we can see that we are running the 6.5 Zen kernel. For the desktop environment, we are using GNOME, this is correct, and we are using a bit more than 2 GB of RAM. Running containers is a bit heavy, but we also created a new container, and I think that part of that is still in memory. So I think that if we restart the machine, it should go under 2 GB. You can also run GUI applications like that, not just console applications. And if you need a package from a different distro, just add a new container. If you like my videos and also want to support me, I also have a Patreon page. I really appreciate all the support I get, and it's because of your support that I can make videos like this one. So thank you very much, and the link to Patreon is up there or down in the description. This is not the first time I used containers on this channel. In a previous video, I showed you how I can run a Windows lookalike called Wubuntu inside a Docker container on Windows. So if you want to run a Windows-like operating system inside a Docker container yourself, then you can check out the link to the video up there or down in the description. And that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, then like and subscribe. And if you really like the video, down there is a super thanks. So you can buy me a coffee, for instance, so I can make more of those awesome videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.